Indiana, known as the Circle City. And for the last quarter century, on the first weekend of October, college football takes center stage. It's the 25th annual Circle City Classic. A parade through downtown Indy kicked off the festivities this morning. The state of Alabama making its presence felt. We've got an in-state rivalry that dates back to 1932. The brand new Lucas Oil Stadium opening its doors. Indianapolis, Indiana, known as the Circle City. And for the last quarter century, on the first weekend of October, college football takes center stage. It's the 25th annual Circle City Classic. A parade through downtown Indy kicked off the festivities this morning. The state of Alabama making its presence felt. We've got an in-state rivalry that dates back to 1932. The brand new Lucas Oil Stadium opening its doors, rooftop, and windows. The Tuskegee Golden Tigers will try to extend the nation's longest winning streak, but they'll have to get past the feisty Bulldogs from Alabama A&M. The Circle City Classic now on NFL Network. We're pleased to bring you the first ever college football game at Lucas Oil Stadium, home to the Colts. Colts are on the road in Week 5 of the NFL schedule. They'll be taking on the Houston Texans. So we've got college football for you here on NFL Network. The Tuskegee Golden Tigers will take on the Alabama A&M Bulldogs in the Circle City Classic. Say hello to Sterling Sharp. I'm Fran Charles. And Sterling, this is more than just a college football game. It has that college bowl atmosphere.
It really does, Fran. You get an opportunity, as these two colleges do, to showcase your history, showcase your pride, and showcase your tradition. These football teams get an opportunity to showcase the talent that they have on the field. I know every week America's used to seeing the Auburns and the Georgias and the USCs. Well, let me tell you, Tuskegee and Alabama A&M, they play football just as well.
And we're talking about on the line is the nation's longest winning streak in all of college football. Tuskegee is looking for its 21st straight victory. And the man who makes it tick is the quarterback, Jakari Atkinson.
He is very special, Fran, and a lot of people may not know about this young guy, but this young man does a very good job of orchestrating this offense. He throws the ball beautifully. He would rather throw the football than run, but they run the option as well, and he doesn't have any problems taking it out the back door. If you don't account for the quarterback, everything starts, begins, and ends with this guy.
And Atkinson was a 2007 Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Player of the Year. How does A&M stop Atkinson and that high-powered Tuskegee offense?
Well, standing up here, it's simple. Because all you want to do is you want to get hits on the quarterback. You want to make him feel like he is in the game and not just a part of it. That task belongs to middle linebacker Alfred Williams. I believe the way that Alabama and A&M plays the defense, you get an opportunity to see this young man, and he's going to be physical. He's got to be physical at the point of attack, and when Atkins decides to run, he wants to bail up the middle, and I expect Alfred Williams to be standing there waiting on him when he does.
All right, Sterling. Well, the star of the first ever Circle City Classic in 1984 was none other than NFL great Jerry Rice. Rice caught 8 passes for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was the MVP as Mississippi Valley State rolled over Grambling 48-36. Of course, Rice went on to become the NFL's all-time leading pass receiver and MVP Super Bowl 23. And for this year's 25th anniversary celebration, Jerry's back. Yesterday, he was honored at a luncheon with the annual Major Taylor Award. And this morning, he served as the Grand Marshal of the Circle City Classic annual parade. And, of course, Jerry will be in the house, and he will be joining us on the telecast a little bit later on in the second half. Willie Slater, in his 3rd year as head coach of the Tuskegee Golden Tigers, and all he's done is win SIAC championships in 2006 and 2007, 26-2 overall. Tuskegee ranked #1, Sterling, in the Black College football poll.
As soon as he walked on campus, Fran, instant credibility came to the Tuskegee football program. He brought an offense that is high-octane, high-powered. They do a very good job of, they want a quick strike, they want to be vertical, but they have a quarterback that is very patient in the pocket, and they'll run the ball at you if it presents itself.
All right, across the way, Anthony Jones entering his 7th season as the head man at Alabama A&M. His 10th season overall. A victory today would give him 70 career victories, and that 51-24 mark, that 68% of the best among all coaches in the history of Alabama A&M. He was a 2006 Southwestern athletic coach of the year.
I mean, when you look at Anthony Jones, he has a quiet confidence about him, and his team believed that they have a game plan today to hand Tuskegee their first loss in 20 games.
All right, Alabama A&M won the coin toss and elected to defer. Deep for Tuskegee, Antoine Mitchell and Mario Jackson. The 25th Circle City Classic is underway, and that ball kicked out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds. Ball be placed at the 40-yard line. First down.
So that can't make Anthony Jones happy. Rashawn Kyler on the kickoff there. Tuskegee and this high-powered offense, Sterling, getting its opportunity, its first opportunity at the 40-yard line.
And they like to be quick strike. They're a vertical passing game, friends. So it'd be interesting to see how they come out and try to establish tone, because when this offense is hitting on all 8 cylinders, it eliminates the other team's running game. So I think Tuskegee wants to come out and put the ball in their stars' hands, and their stars, their quarterback, Takari Atkinson.
And we talked about Atkinson. He threw for almost 3,000 yards a year ago, 34 touchdowns through the air. He also ran one in. Atkinson, the SIAC Player of the Year. Tuskegee now on first down. It's Atkinson out of the shotgun, and Tony Forney gets a couple of yards before he's brought down. We'll take a look at the rest of the Golden Tigers offensive unit. In the backfield, Forney just carried there. John Paisley is the fullback. Mitchell and English are the wideouts to keep an eye on. And up front, the Hogs, Jackson, Daniels, Stevens, Butler, and Ira Swords. Second down and 7 for the Golden Tigers. And once again, Atkinson out of the shotgun. Feels a little pressure, rolls out, and then dumps it. And it's Jonathan Alessa with the catch. Across the 40 into Alabama A&M territory. The defensive unit now for the Bulldogs. Jeremy Maddox anchors that defensive line. He has 4.5 sacks. And the linebacker, Sterling already mentioned, Alfred Williams, the general. He leads Alabama A&M in tackles with 24. And in the secondary, they're definitely going to get their workout on today. There are 2 Thomases, Maurice and also Marcus. First and 10 for Tuskegee at the 38-yard line of Alabama A&M. Out of the shotgun, it's Atkinson on the keeper. And he finds some room down the left side at the 10-5. Atkinson is in from 38 yards away. And Sterling, here we go. This is why this young man is so special.
All he wants to do is orchestrate the offense, but he gets great blocks at the point of attack. He is a quarterback that does not like to run outside. He prefers to run in here. Great blocking. Outstanding block by Jonathan Alessa at the point of attack, and now he just uses his speed to get to the corner of the end zone. Tuskegee started the absolute way they wanted to, and that is come out, get on the board first.
And just like that, 3 plays, they go 60 yards and $116. Dimitri Pelaez is on for the extra point. And there are flags down on the play, so we'll have to try it again. But Sterling, we saw on 2 plays.
Full start, number 75 on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Nick Define is our referee. The false start penalty on the left tackle Ryan Jackson. But we saw the quick play capability, Sterling. We saw a big pass play, and then we saw the 38-yard gallop.
Both of those plays are what Alabama A&M said they did not want to see happen. They didn't want to give up the big play in the passing game, and they certainly wanted to keep a control eye on the quarterback. They didn't do either, find themselves down 7-0, friend, and this is exactly how Tuskegee has done every opponent they've played so far, except for Fort Valley. Fort Valley hung in there, but they love to get that quick start on you and force you to play catch-up.
Fort Valley made it close a week ago, but Tuskegee was able to win 20-16 and extend that winning streak to 20 straight games. So it'll be a 25-yard extra point for Velez. And it's no good. So Alabama A&M getting a bit of a break there, but right away, Jakari Atkinson puts his team on its shoulders and rides it in from 38 away. Tuskegee on the board for Circle City Classic, 6-0.
Count down the NFL's top 10s. Debate the game's best moments. And break down everything in the world of football. The NFL's top 10 comebacks. Tonight at 9, only on NFL Network.
This is your NFL Network.
If you're just joining us here in Indianapolis for the Circle City Classic, you already missed some fireworks. The Tuskegee quarterback, Jabari Atkinson, did his thing with a 38-yard touchdown scamper. And so Dimitri Pelaez will kick it away, and Tuskegee is used to playing from out in front. It's a short kick. And it's Alfred Williams with the kickoff return. Here's another look at the touchdown.
Friend, what you got is you're going to get these guys, you're going to get a great wall right here to seal all these guys off. And this guy's going to come upfield, he's going to get kicked out. And now what you're looking for is your second-level defenders. And that means your wide receivers. And I want you to watch Jonathan Lesser right here. Beautiful block, gives his quarterback the corner. And when you set the edge like that, it's going to be a big run for your quarterback.
And the quarterback for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs is Kevin Atkins. He also sports the number 5. The sophomore is in his first full year as a starter. He threw all of 5 passes a year ago. And the Bulldogs will open up in the shotgun. That's Ulysses Banks and Anthony Green. And on an end around, it is stopped up and wrapped up. Rashad Johnson. Let's take a look at the rest of the Bulldog offense. We mentioned Banks and Green. They like to use that quick scat back attack. Tommy Harris already has 3 100-yard performances in 2008. The offensive line, Williams, Jackson, Emmanuel Meade, and Anquez Jackson moving the pile up front. So there was a gain of 1 on the end around, and once again, it is Atkins in the shotgun.
There is no way he gained a yard on that reverse, Fran. It was a great spot.
And they give it to Banks. And Banks gains a couple of yards. A quick look now at the Tuskegee defense. The man to watch on the front 4, Jarvis Devon. He already has 6 sacks this year. He had 12 a year ago. The linebackers, Jonathan Hall is the key backer for Tuskegee, and the defensive backs, Al Donaldson, their best defensive back. They're looking to give him a medical redshirt. He has a groin injury, and so they're trying to make do. Also, Rodney Anthony not playing in this game, injured as well. 3rd and 8 from the 35, and it's Atkins with a dart, and it is incomplete. Cedric Ivory there to break it up. And so the Bulldogs will punt it away.
Not the start they wanted on offense, Fran. You know, obviously defensively they've been playing a little slow, getting their thing started slow on defense. So, but offensively, you need to come out and try and establish a little something. Give your defense a rest. Give the coaches an opportunity to talk to your guys. But right now, you know, punt coming up and your defense is back on the field, and this is a critical series for that defense.
Antoine Mitchell is deep for the Golden Tigers. And Kyler on for the punt. Mitchell calls for a fair catch at his 22. And we saw evidence of this with our own eyes. Tuskegee likes to get off the ball and get off early.
Well, they scare you with their ability, friend. They have the ability to score anyway. Of course, Atkins is the guy, and as you can see, they outscore their opponents 95-10 in the first half. And whatever you practice running, Fran, when you score like that in the first half, all that running you practiced on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's eliminated because now you have to start throwing the football, and the defensive front has an opportunity to tee off on your quarterback because they pretty much know where he's going to be standing on every play.
Atkinson in the shotgun. And that is Forney in motion to the right side, and Atkinson dumps it off to him in space. Forney across the 25 up to the 28. And Tuskegee certainly a legendary university, and Alabama with a ton of history. The old gold and crimson. It was founded in 1881 by the great educator, author, and orator Booker T. Washington. And just under 3,000 students patrolling the campus at Tuskegee. 26 SIAC championships for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. They have won 20 games in a row, looking for number 21. Atkinson on the quarterback draw, and he finds some room, a nice spin move out to the 38. Marcus Thomas on the tackle.
He does not like to scramble outside. He's a rarity at the quarterback position. He loves running up the middle, and he gets a great block at the point of attack right there by his left guard, Danny Daniels, and then he does the rest. He's a hard guy to knock off his feet. He's extremely athletic, and usually when we say athletic, we look for a quarterback to run all the time, but he's also extremely accurate when he throws the ball.
Quentin Holmes there as well on the tackle. They try to give it to Priestley up the middle, and there is a nothing there.
You know, Frank, Jakari Atkinson may be America's best kept secret because you don't get a chance to see a guy like him perform week in and week out. But he is a very special individual. Does a very nice job orchestrating this offense. He plays under control. You know, usually in a game like this, you know, your emotions will get the best of you and you come out really jacked up. He plays very even-keeled football week in, week out.
All right, that's 40 deep now for Tuskegee. We rarely have seen Atkinson under center. The first or second and 10 here at the 39. And it's Paisley again. Gets away. And he plows his way across the 40 to the 43. Bobby McClain on the stop. And it'll be a 3rd and 7.
And right there, Frank, he did a better job of getting them out of the play they were in into a better play and allowing his offense to stay on schedule. I mean, right now you got about 5.5 yards for a first down. That's manageable, and that you don't have to be really creative offensively to be able to pick that up. So outstanding job orchestrating this offense again.
Make it a 3rd and 5, and Tuskegee has done a nice job converting 51% of the time. Atkinson over the middle, and it hit Jason English right in the chest, but he couldn't hold on.
He had a little mustard on that. But, you know, the thing I noticed is they don't have a problem. They make you defend every square inch of the field. They'll throw the football anywhere. And right there is a good throw. Got an opportunity to make the catch, and the receiver didn't come up with it.
Chris Kahn on to punt. Thomas Harris is deep. Sterling, if you are Anthony Jones, the head coach of the Bulldogs, that is just what the doctor ordered right there.
That is exactly, because it looked like they were going to have an opportunity to sustain a drive, which is what you didn't need for if you're Alabama A&M's defense.
So Kahn angling for the corner, but it takes a Bulldogs bounce out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So Alabama A&M will get its second shot on offense, trailing by 6 early in the Circle City Classic.
Hey, thanks for the window seat.
No.
You got the presentation?
Oh, yeah, right here.
Oh, let me stow that for you, sir.
Thank you. You know, just to be safe, I used FedEx Office Print Online.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They printed and bound 20 copies of the
The
president.
drive where I can push that nose and post that beat gap on to your open side, to your side. They're gonna come back with it. Watch 25 on the reverse. They ran them on the reverse first time. Okay, we got to sit home. Hey, we gonna make that something.
And that is Alabama A&M defensive coordinator Reginald Ruffin. We've got the right guy wearing the mic, Sterling.
Well, what Reggie wants to do is push the nose to the field because he's looking for a reverse, or he's looking for something to the wide side. It looks like he's got quarterback Kevin Atkins running that way, but he knows who the playmakers are, Fran. It's number 25, Rashard Johnson, number 81, Thomas Harris. Those are the two guys that get this offense for Alabama A&M going, and Tuskegee is all over trying to get those two guys going. They don't want that to happen.
Clifton Sanders and Brandon Anderson weren't the slightest bit fooled. Atkins dropped for a loss of 1. Anthony Jones, though, was telling us that Alabama A&M used to be a power team, but they have adjusted specifically this year to their personnel. So they're doing a lot more speed and finesse stuff.
Yeah, their playmakers, Fran, are outside. That's what they want to be able to do. Get the ball to their playmakers. Kind of what Tuskegee does with their playmakers, starting with Jakari Atkinson.
And that was Anthony Green with
no gain, so it'll be 3rd and 11 from their own 33. No wide receivers.
Should be
at the
pressure.
top of your screen.
Should be pressure from Tuskegee. I mean, you got him in 3rd and long. Keep him in 3rd and long.
Atkins rolls to his left, and he comes up short, firing for Johnson. It's incomplete.
And that's what you got to have. You get 3rd and long. You know you want the ball to come out a little bit faster. You don't want the quarterback to have all day to survey the field. And you know what? This is just an outstanding play right here by Darian Barnes. He stays on his feet. Guy tries to cut him. He stays on his feet. He's able to get to the quarterback, force a bad throw. Defense gets off the field. That's exactly what you wanted for Reginald Ruffin, the defensive coordinator for Tuskegee.
Rashawn Kyler on for his 2nd punt of the afternoon. Antoine Mitchell deep for the Golden Tigers.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And Mitchell comes up.
Looked like he wanted a fair catch. The ball hit him, and there's a scramble for the loose ball. And the Bulldogs say they have it, but there is a flag down on the play.
Actually, Antoine Mitchell came out with the football. I thought Alabama A&M had it too.
It was interesting because it looked like Mitchell was trying to signal for a fair catch, but then there was one of the Bulldog players that was in the way. Here we go.
Kick catch. Interference number 31 on the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Wow, kick catch, which means that right there, that guy was interfered with the catch. And that, wow, I mean, he was being blocked, so I don't know how they came up with that, but that's what the official saw. That's why he called it. And I mean, his own guy ran into him, friend. But even right there, I thought, you know, Alabama A&M had the football, and Antoine Mitchell came out of there with it. So
The penalty on Stephen Andrews, number 31 for the Bulldogs. So Tuskegee starting at its own 44, and they have had great field position in this 25th Circle City Classic. Atkinson going up top, and it's incomplete. English couldn't get a beat on it.
And I tell you what, friend, it looks like that's who they are. And if you think that you've seen this offense or this passing game somewhere before, it's a la Randy Moss. Get it up over the top. But I like what Alabama A&M's doing. Let's bring pressure. Let's make him feel like he's in the game, not just a part of it. Want to get hits on him. Want to make the speed up his process. So they did it on that play. He throws the ball out of bounds. They're not able to come up with a completion. You attack the quarterback, you slow down this offense.
Quentin Holmes getting a piece of Atkinson there. 2nd and 10. Forney and next to Atkinson. They've got 4 wide. They like to spread it out. And there's some movement up front. And it looked like the Bulldogs jumped.
Offsides. Number 90, defense made contact. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
So that is Frank Curse.
You got a blitz on, so everybody's interested and excited about getting in their gap. Jumped a little early, but if you're Alabama A&M, you need to be very, very careful because they're 2 plays away from having this thing 14-0, and now your quarterback having to stand back there and throw 17, 18 times here in the next 2 series. So they need to be real careful that they get an opportunity to stay respectable as far as down and distance, and here comes the option.
And that was a nice job by Atkinson working the count as well. And you see the senior leadership. It was a 3rd and 10. He got him to jump off sides. Now, they didn't capitalize here as he was wrapped up, but a nice job by the senior quarterback.
He does a very good job, friend, of staying very calm in every situation. Everything in the offense, I mean, you hear that a lot about how much control the quarterback has over the offense. He can overrule a call by his head coach and be able, because Willie Slater calls the offense, so he can overrule him and put him in a better situation. And right there, felt like the option was a good play, but give Alabama A&M credit. They defended it very well.
No gain on the last play. 3rd and 5, Atkinson in the shotgun. 4 wide. He runs this time to the left. He's going to keep it, but he is wrapped up by number 40, Julius Pruitt. And no decision to be made by Willie Slater. He sent the punt team on the field right away.
I mean, a guy who likes to run the football up the middle does not feel comfortable running the option on the outside. So they just thought with his big body and his speed, he'd be able to get ahead of steam going and fall forward for the first down. Came up a couple of yards short.
All right, so Chris Kahn on to punt. Harris is deep. He lets it bounce, and this time it takes a Tuskegee bounce inside 10 to about the 6. So Alabama A&M been deep in their own territory, trying to get something started offensively. 6-0. Tuskegee on top.
STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. Cleans your fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers, and helps you save gas. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
If you didn't watch NFL Game Day highlights, here's what you...
Welcome back to NFL Network's coverage of the Circle City Classic. Tuskegee up early here in the first quarter. Trivia question: can you name an Alabama A&M alum who played in the Circle City Classic and is currently playing in the NFL? Alabama A&M has just 1 yard offensively. And that is Atkins going up top, looking for Harris. But no can do. Kenneth Baker there wasn't fooled.
I like the call. I like the call. Offensively, you just told me they've gained 1 yard of offense. So I like the call. Try and flip the football field. Try and get you some field position. And, you know, you just can't have your quarterback overthrown. You got to give your receiver an opportunity. Thomas Harris was well covered, but he didn't have an opportunity to make a catch.
2nd down and 10. The fullback Roger Smith is in the backfield along with Ulysses Banks. And this time it is Banks, and he is wrapped up by Jarvis Devon.
It's almost like they're trying to. I mean, Devon does a great job riding the tight end down on the inside, coming back outside, making a play. Maybe someone was supposed to block him, Fran. I'm not sure, but I would let the guys know, hey, can you put a hat on this guy?
And keep in mind for our viewers, Tuskegee plays in Division II. Alabama A&M, they play in the football championship subdivision, which is formerly Division I AA. So they should be a little bit bigger in size. Grant now finding some room around the left side, out across the 20. So on a 3rd and 10, it's Ulysses Grant picking up 19 yards.
And it was a very well-blocked play. I mean, you come with a little counter, got a down block, got to pull in the guard right there, and then this is just individual. This is DNA right here, Frank. That's all that is. That's not blocking, that's DNA. That means you get out of bed with that. And, I mean, you got your playmaker in space, and now he's allowed to use his ability to get yourself a first down.
Charles Meade, the right guard, doing a great job there, Sterling. You mentioned pulling from his post and setting Banks free. 1st and 10. At the 24, it is Banks, or Anthony Green, check that up the middle. And Alabama A&M is located in Huntsville, Alabama, and they play in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, otherwise known as the SWAC.
The SWAC.
That's a great nickname, founded in 1875. They played Tuskegee. Started in 1932. They played them every year since '63. The last time they played was in '99. And Alabama A&M won 54-0.
I had a guy at the hotel tell me that's why Alabama A&M wouldn't play them. I mean, Tuskegee wouldn't play them anymore because they got thumped the last time they played them, so they took them off the schedule. You know, you'd be surprised at the information you can get at the hotel.
That's right. And incidentally, that was the 2nd year that the Bulldogs had been playing in the football championship subdivision, jumping up from Division II. to what was then known as a Division I AA. So they've made the move. So this is a rivalry that goes back to 1932, and these two teams couldn't wait to get on the football field to mix it up. 3rd and 10 now at the 24. Atkins in the shotgun, and there are 3 wide receivers. Atkins looking all the way to Harris, and it was a nice job by Kenneth Baker breaking it up. They lead the corners. They play that Tampa 2 Tuskegee.
That's man-to-man right there, friend. That's my ability. That's my DNA versus your DNA right there. And if you get an opportunity, Kenneth Baker's DNA won on that beautiful coverage. He used his feet, got his body in the right position, got his hands in there on the football. And I just think Thomas Harris has just found out he's going to be in a dogfight, especially when they go man-to-man. So when it's your DNA versus my DNA, you know, it's mano a mano. So the best man is going to win, and right there, that was Kenneth Baker.
Yeah, he read it perfectly.
Yes, he did.
But Kyler on the punt now from his own 24. Mitchell is deep. And he's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Tuskegee bounce out about the 36. Moments ago, we asked you a trivia question. Can you name the Alabama A&M alum who played the Circle City Classic, who is currently playing in the NFL? The answer, Robert Mathis, the Indianapolis Colts defensive end. He had 4 sacks for A&M when the Bulldogs defeated Southern 27-11 in the 2002 Classic.
You know, I was going to say Peyton Manning, and then I remember Peyton Manning went to Tennessee, but he was a beast, friend. I mean, he was, for a guy his size and playing at that position, he was an absolute monster and almost impossible to block.
He had over 20 sacks in 2002 for the season. 1st and 10 now for Tuskegee. They try to run right up the middle, but the Bulldogs are not full.
Ran up the middle, smack dab into a blitz. And you know, usually Jakari Atkinson does a really good job of getting them out of plays like that, especially when he knows they're blitzing. And right there, he didn't. Left the call on. And, you know, wow, that's a big discrepancy in the yardage. You know, they both run 12 plays, but 81 yards to 19. So Alabama A&M offensively going to have to wake up a little bit. Their defense is going to get worn down in the second half.
A loss of 3 on the play as Paisley could find nowhere to go. He was wrapped up by Marcus Poe, but you have to give A&M some credit here because it looked like early on they had no answers, and they've been able to keep this game under control. Atkinson on the option, and he pitches it to Forney, and Forney turns the corner across the 45. Out at about the 46, Antonio Barrett there to push him out of bounds. It's a 13-yard gain and a 1st down.
And you don't have to take the option to the edge, because when he comes down the line right here, here's who he's reading right here. That's his guy. You read the end man on the line of scrimmage. It's a speed option trying to get you outflanked. Outflank, kick it right now. You got a block right there. Beautiful, setting the edge by the offense, and you allow your running back to catch it full head of steam, fall forward, get close to a 1st down.
Cornelius Robinson thought he was going to make a play, but Atkinson shrewdly delivered the rock. All right, 3rd and 1 here at the 45. They give it straight up the middle to Forney, and he crosses the 45 to the 48.5, but it's enough for a 1st down.
Not really sure that seeing this kind of offense, Frank.
NFL Game Day morning comes your way at 10 Eastern. Join Spiro Ditas, Marshall Falk, our own Warren Sapp, who had some things to say about how the Oakland Raiders organization is run earlier this week. I'm sure Sapp will expand on that. Atkinson finds a seam, and it's a foot race inside the 20 to the 14-yard line.
He does not like to bail outside. For a quarterback who handles the football as much as this guy, he's not an overly big guy. I mean, he weighs about 200 pounds, but he loves to attack the middle of your defense. You get a blitz coming right here. He senses the pressure, steps up. DNA once again, friend. Get out of bed with this, and now he's in your secondary, and you're in man-to-man coverage, and that's why we had the game that we just had for quarterbacks.
Marcus Thomas and Darian Payne stopped a touchdown there. It's Forney not finding much room on a 1st and 10 at the 15. Ronaldo Askew wraps him up, and there is the field general Alfred Williams.
He's America's best kept secret because he does this week in and week out. It's not a stretch or a strain against his ability. He just shows up, sees what the defense gives him, takes advantage of it, and he puts up great numbers every single week.
Atkinson lobs it up for English for a touchdown.
America's best kept secret, Frank. Beautiful throw right there. Beautiful throw. I mean, the catch is easy. I played wide receiver, so I know the catch is easy. But the throw was, I mean, that's bank right there. I mean, just a beautiful job versus cover 2. You don't get a hold up, doesn't allow your safety to get over the top. I mean, you're going to have an easy throw. Corner, you got to get a hold up to allow your safety to get over the top of that and either knock it down or come up with an interception. But, wow, beautiful throw by Jakari Atkinson right there.
Pelea is on for the extra point. And this time he knocks it down. So Jason English able to slip by Maurice Thomas and then out jump Marcus Thomas, and Jakari Atkinson putting all his skills on display.
Fran, I don't know if you bring this to the table, but I want you to watch this 1, 2, 3. If he gets off, look at that. He doesn't have to set up. He sees his guy coming free, does a beautiful job not going through the full step progression, getting the ball out of his hands and giving his outstanding wide receiver Jason English an opportunity to catch it, which he does.
English, the senior from Mobile, with his 4th touchdown reception so far this year. And Tuskegee off and running. Anthony Jones looking hoping to find something to stop this high-powered Tuskegee offense. You know, a year ago, Sterling, Tuskegee averaged almost 47 points a game.
And offensively, they do a lot of what we've just seen already, Fran. It's the quarterback on design runs, running the option, or when the pressure comes from the outside, he runs up the middle, and then throwing the ball over the top like we saw for the touchdown. And what Anthony Jones, the head coach of Alabama A&M, he understood coming in what he was up against, and he knew his corners were going to be in the right place. But there's 2 plays on that drive. 2 plays on that drive where they were in the right place, had a blitz on, let him get up the middle, and then they're in cover 2 where you never get that throw in cover 2.
Find another short kick. And it's Alfred Williams with his 2nd kickoff return. And so Alabama A&M will get some pretty decent field position. They will start at their own 37. And Anthony Jones now calmly talking to his offensive unit, hoping to get something going. Meanwhile, Reginald Ruffin, the defensive coordinator in his 4th season at Tuskegee, he wants his guys to keep it going.
He's got a real nice game plan, Fran, but I think he's getting helped out a lot by what Alabama A&M trying to do on offense. I think offensively right now, critical series for them to establish some sort of field position for their defense.
A&M calling a timeout.
Alabama A&M, that's our first charge team timeout.
With 53 seconds still remaining in the 1st quarter.
30-second timeout.
NFL Network bringing you the 25th annual Circle City Classic. Tuskegee undefeated. They've won their last 20 games. It's the longest winning streak in all of college football, and they are leading the Alabama A&M Bulldogs 13-0. We are here at the Lucas Oil Stadium, the brand new home for the Indianapolis Colts. Fran Charles alongside Sterling Sharp, and Sterling just 19 total yards of offense for Alabama A&M.
And more importantly, Fran, the offensive numbers, you know, when you run successful football plays, those will come. But more importantly, your defense has shown an inability to be able to get off the field on 3rd down, give up a big run and a big throw. So this is a critical situation right now for Alabama A&M. Offensively, they need to come up with a plan to sustain some offense.
All right, A&M with a 3 wide receiver set. And it's Banks on the counter. And he maybe picked up 1 yard. Jonathan Hall right there to wrap him up.
I like talking with defensive coordinator Reginald Ruffin for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. What he likes to do is if you set yourself up for the blitz, you're going to start getting blitzed. And I think that Alabama A&M is real close to setting themselves up for a lot more pressure because they've shown an inability to throw the football. They got one good 11-yard run on a second or third down. I think they're setting themselves up for a lot of pressure, and it looks like they're lining up for pressure right now.
All right, we'll get one more playoff here before the end of the first quarter. That's Banks in motion to the left side. Atkins wants to throw left, and he does, but it's broken up by Justin Hanna. But there is a flag on the play. And it's going to be offsides on the Golden Tigers.
Offside. Defense. Offsides, number 46. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
So Clifton Sanders a little eager there. And you can check it out at the top of your screen.
Number 92 lined up in the neutral zone.
Yeah, they said it was on Sanders, number 46, but that can't be right. All right, 2nd and 5 here with 4 seconds to go in the quarter. This should be the final play of the first quarter. And a quick dump off to Rashad Johnson, who picks up the first down. Jeremy Obie there on the stop. So Alabama A&M trying to get something going here after 1 quarter's in the books. Jakari Atkinson has led Tuskegee to 13 first quarter points. Back with more of the Circle City Classic right after this.
Coach Ruffin, what do you got going on defensively now? You're starting to look at this.
Overram, Coach.
You're starting to look at this offense now. You got them exactly where you want them, wanting them to dink and dunk you down the field.
Yes, sir. That's all we want them to do. But we can get ready for all the long. We want him to throw the ball deep. We want him to dink and dunk because we're going to come up and make tackle. Our motto is keep it in front of us.
I got you.
I think we can out-tackle him, okay?
Okay.
We patient. Defense, you got to be patient. Offense, the one that's not patient.
And it helps having a 13-point lead, doesn't it?
Oh, most definitely.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Right to the sidelines there with Tuskegee defensive coordinator Reginald Ruffin. Atkins rolling to his left, then he has Tommy Harris. And Harris is tripped up by Kenneth Baker.
Well, exactly what Coach Ruffin didn't want. You know, we wanted him to dink and dunk us, but we didn't want him to dink us for a first down.
That's right.
But as you can see, with a 13-point lead, the way this defense and offense balance off each other, Fran, I mean, now you know exactly. We want the quarterback throwing deep, and that's the one thing that Coach talked about all week. They want Kevin Atkins throwing the football deep, or they want Kevin Atkins dinking and dunking. They don't want to see him on the running game. They don't want to see Ulysses Banks and Anthony Green in the running game. So I think they're pretty much setting this offense up where they want.
Harris picked up 12 on the reception, 1st and 10 at the 36. It's Banks. He tries to cut back, and he's ridden down by Clifton Sanders after a gain of about 4 to the 33.
And a very good individual tackle, excuse me, by Clifton Sanders, because you're one-on-one standing in the hole. And what I like about that play is what Coach Ruffin said, he doesn't want to see the running game. All of a sudden you see a run, picks up 4.5, 5 yards. So Clifton Sanders did his job. Alabama A&M offense did their job. They find themselves in second and manageable. And you know what? You're not out of the game. You're down 13. You know, just a few more first downs. You're in field goal range. Make a big play. You're in the end zone for a touchdown.
That's Rashad Johnson in motion. Banks is deep on a 2nd and 6. Atkins looking for Nate Baxter, but it was broken up by Denaro Robisky.
I think he missed a big one there, Fran. He had Gerald Stockdale running down the seam, and I thought he missed him. If it would have come out a little earlier, could have got his tight end right down the seam right now. Throw it right off number 20's ear right there, and I think he would have had a big one. But you know what? Taking the safe throw. Trying to get the safe throw. Beautiful play. Like to see your defensive backs, Dario Robisky. You like to see him in the football game. Now he's got a chance to make a play. He's involved now.
They've got a great field goal kicker in Jeremy Lycia.
Timeout. Alabama A&M. That's their second charge. Team timeout.
All right, so Alabama A&M burning another timeout. They'll have just one remaining.
Immediate timeout.
until the first half. The bands, they're getting ready for halftime.
May I help you?
Hello, down here. You hiring?
Yes.
Good. Then I can set my master plan in motion.
Your master what?
I got big dreams, and everybody knows. If you work here, the sky's the limit.
Well, yes.
My neighbor did, and now she owns 3 McDonald's. Plus, McDonald's gives out scholarships. And who wouldn't want that on their resume?
Shouldn't you two be taking a nap?
McDonald's, deeply rooted in the community.
Hey, Craig, one day this will all be ours.
Downtown Indianapolis, otherwise known as the Circle City. And we are bringing you the Circle City Classic at Lucas Oil Stadium, the first ever college football game. Alabama A&M taking on Tuskegee. This is a 3rd and 6 at the Tuskegee 32 for the Bulldogs. And it's Atkins. He's going to keep it himself. And he has some room across the 20. Kevin Atkins down to the 16-yard line before Jeremy Obi forces him out of bounds.
What we heard Coach Ruffin say earlier, you know, I don't want to see any of the running game. This is what he's talking about, because he's got a great setup, and you're going to get the read, and all he's looking at is finding a hole. He finds himself a hole, and now it's just DNA once again. Use your athletic ability to create a play. But when you have the ability to use both the run and the pass, what you've done is eliminated the defense's ability to key on your personnel. So I like to see Alabama A&M. They did not panic in this situation. So here they are, 1st and 10 in the red zone. 18
yards on the scamper by Atkins. This time he does give it to Banks, and Banks is tripped up. He maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Hall got there first. So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 14. They've done very well inside the red zone. 11 touchdowns and 18 total scores.
They just need to get there. That's the key. If they get there, they have a very good red zone offensive scheme that they employ. They have both run and pass, and the quarterback play is a big factor in that. So this is a crucial situation they find themselves in, because they need to come away with points.
In their 3 wide receiver set, Atkins too high for Tommy Harris.
I've seen quarterbacks patient throwing the football. He was almost asleep when he threw this one. I mean, he was so relaxed that it came out. He was a little late on the throw. When his receiver was ready, I mean, you look, he takes his time, and then it comes out a little high because he's not using his feet. A lot of people think you throw the football accurately with your arm. You don't. You use your feet to throw it accurately, and right there he didn't get his feet involved, and that's why we had an incomplete pass.
Big 3rd down conversion attempt coming up for the Bulldogs. They've converted 2 of 5, and not what Reginald Ruffin wanted to see, as the Bulldogs are driving down the field. 3rd and 10, 2 wide receivers to the left. It's going to be Banks up the middle. He's still moving inside the 5, down to about the 2, but they'll bring it back, I believe, to the 4-yard line.
I mean, Alabama A&M, I got to give them credit. They have not panicked. 3rd and 10, down in the red zone. They come with a sprint draw right out the left side, and a beautiful run right there by the tailback, Ulysses Banks. And they just haven't panicked. They've done everything that they've needed to do on this drive. Sustain offense, got their quarterback involved, threw the football on the outside. They just stayed patient, didn't panic, and they're knocking on the door for a touchdown.
All right, it's good for a 1st down, 1st and goal. This is the 10th play of the drive, and it is Banks, and he is in. Kenneth Baker couldn't pull him down. Ulysses Banks putting the Bulldogs on the board.
Kenneth Baker got surprised like I did, Fred. That's why he got a face full of hand right there, because he thought he was going to get power. And it was a beautiful job by Ulysses Banks of just showing him like he was going to get power, sticking his hand out there and allowing himself to get in the end zone. Great drive.
Jeremy Lycia on for the extra point. We told you he's 8 of 8 for field goal attempts, but he is 6 of 10 for extra points. But Lycia with no problems there, and Alabama A&M on the board. We've got a game. Tuskegee jumped out to a 13-0 lead, but Banks with his 7th touchdown of the season. The Bulldogs back in it. Crimson Piper Band getting set for what's going to be an exciting performance at halftime. And Alabama A&M going 10 plays, 63 yards, and eating up just over 4 minutes of clock. And really, Sterling, they needed a drive like that to. Crimson Piper Band getting set for what's going to be an exciting performance at halftime. And Alabama A&M going 10 plays, 63 yards, and eating up just over 4 minutes of clock. And really, Sterling, they needed a drive like that to settle this ball game down.
Yes, they did. They needed to keep their defense off the field. They needed to insert themselves into this football game offensively. Beautiful drive, 4 plays to 10+ yards or more, so that's what they need.
Kyler's kick is away. It is Mitchell at his 9-yard line. Antoine Mitchell, a playmaker, across the 50. And he was brought down. They got a fistful of jersey. And Kyler may have done the honors, the kicker.
I mean, I thought he should have let it go out of bounds, but he catches it and watch the speed. I mean, he just finds a hole, he finds a crease, and he just hits it. And I mean, right there, the kicker saved the potential touchdown. I mean, make him line up and run more offense. But that right there is a short kick, make him pay with field position, and that's exactly what Tuskegee has done there in business.
So Atkinson and company back at it. Antoine Mitchell stays on the field. They have 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. There is a flag on the play. So there is a flag on the play. Keon Davis took the pitch.
Offsides. Number 54 in the defense lined up in the neutral zone. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And there you see Kevin Atkins, the quarterback for Alabama A&M. After the touchdown by Banks, he went over to give his running back a hug, and he planted his foot awkwardly. And it looked like he may have sprained his ankle a little bit. We're not doctors up here, but when you take a look, we're going to show it after this play. That is why they're attending to Atkins on his left ankle. It's Atkinson trying to faking the reverse, keeps it himself. Marcus Poe and Rico Porch there. And here you see, watch his left ankle.
Oh, right there. Oh. Yeah, that's painful, friend. That's painful.
And there you go.
Yeah, that's not one of those that you can just bounce back from. That right there will cause you to slow down your process when you want to run or feel like you can run. That'll slow it down right there.
4 wide receivers in the set. It is Atkinson on the quarterback draw inside the 30 to the 28. So it's a 14-yard gain. They mark it back to 29.
He likes to run up the middle. He's a rarity at the quarterback position. He loves to run up the middle. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's not an overly big guy, but 7 carries, 99 yards. So he's doing a very good job, not only whenever he senses pressure and getting out of the pocket, but running the option and plays like the quarterback draw as well.
Davis in the backfield. Atkinson up top, looking for Mario Jackson. There was some contact, and there is a flag on the play.
Got to be pass interference on the defense. I'm going to go out on that limb and say that.
Darian Payne threw his arms up.
Pass interference on the defense, number 39. That's a previous spot foul, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You get those corners out there on an island by themselves, and here you got the slot man, and Kevin just gives him a ball over the top.
I don't know about that.
I know that was a bad call. I know about it. That was good defense right there. A throw that was a little bit overthrown, and that was just really good defense. But the official had a different vantage point than I had, so he threw the flag. Tuskegee's in business
again. And the
again.
one thing that you don't see young defensive backs do a lot. Payne did a great job of turning his head back to look for the ball that time.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I mean, he did a great job of feeling for the receiver, falling for him, trying to replace him. And I mean, right there, look at him. He's feeling, he's trying to fall for him, and that's just incidental contact. I mean, that's actually, you could have called that ball uncatchable because, I mean, the receiver had no shot at catching it. But like I said, you know, he's got a different vantage point than I got, you know, being up here on the 50-yard line. So if that's what he saw, he made the call. But having played receiver, I don't know if I would have made that call.
Atkinson incomplete for Jonathan Lessa on first and down. So it's 2nd and 10. There are 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen, 1 at the bottom. Atkinson over the middle. Lessa, had it in his hands, and he couldn't squeeze it.
No, Frank, he didn't have that in his hand. No, he was dying to drop that pass from the minute he came open because he was thinking how to catch it. So he had no shot of making that catch because the minute he came open, he knew he was getting this ball. Right now, he knows he's getting it, and he's thinking about how am I going to catch it? Do I cradle it? Do I cradle it? How do I catch it? And a lot of people don't realize that, but that is the scariest thing about being wide open. Look how fast this happens.
And you could see there, too, the second the ball hit his fingers, turn his head. He's
thinking about how am I going to catch it because I know I'm open and I know I'm getting it. And most of the receivers, when they drop a pass like that, it's because they're thinking about how they're going to catch it. Over the shoulder, reach up and grab it, cradle it, jump. That's usually why it happens.
Delay on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So we got a drop touchdown. We got a 5-yard delay of game penalty. Alabama A&M is like, I'm liking the way this is looking, but I got to believe that Tuskegee is going to have the football in number 5 hands. And if he's throwing it, he's probably going to be throwing it to number 8, Jason English. That's just, you know, what we've seen from them all season long, and I don't expect them down in the red zone to change now.
Atkinson now with 9 touchdown passes on the season. He also has 6 rushing. 3rd and 14. Oh, he's drilled. Brought down by Cornelius Robinson. Fu Okeson was there as well.
Now, you know their special teams aren't very good, and this is really smart by Kevin, by Jakari right here. He does a really good job of just hanging on to the football, knowing that his offense is in a position to go for it on 4th down because their kicking game is a little suspect, so to speak.
So they are going to line up to go for it here on a 4th and 19. So they have 3 wide receivers split out to the left. Atkinson under duress, and he throws it deep. And Lessa was the intended receiver, but he wasn't even close. So the Bulldogs, after facing a 1st and 10 at,
how about that?
They're 14. They play some defense.
The Bulldogs, and you know what? I want you to watch the end of this toss. Watch the car. He's back to pass. Watch what happens to him when this ball comes out. Bam. That's why the ball sailed a little bit. That's why it's hot. Pressure in his face. Remember, Alabama A&M said they wanted him to feel like he was in the game, not just a part of it. So great defense right there. Got bailed out by a drop touchdown. Got bailed out by a delay of game 5-yard penalty, but defensively did exactly what they needed to do after scoring a touchdown.
And he took a shot from number 94, Nelson Preston. So as you said, the key for A&M, get to Atkinson. Atkins holds on to it, seems to be moving okay. He finds Thomas Harris for a short gain.
Ooh, Fran, you know what? I think the ankle bothered him a little bit because if you take a look, he had Rashard Johnson that was coming free on the corner, where 9 times out of 10, he just unlocks that left hip, throws it down there, and it's going to be a big play. I don't think he could plan and turn on. And so he just, you know, he kind of bailed out and took the underneath guy. But he had a big play with Rashard Johnson going to the corner. He just didn't turn to let it go.
Atkins and Harris hooked up for 4 yards there. This is a 2nd and 6 at the 28. And it's another short pass. Johnson gets around the outside and picks up enough for a first down.
I mean, Fran, your quarterback gets hurt, and I want you to watch how he sets up on that ankle. I mean, look, just can't get a whole lot on it. That left ankle is not supporting his ability to throw the football. So the ball could end up anywhere. It could end up high, low, front, behind. He's not going to be as accurate because of the celebration injury that we had after the touchdown.
All right, so Kevin Atkins playing hurt. 1st and 10, the 35. It's a deep handoff to Anthony Green, who doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Alabama A&M has given up an average of 30 points a game. They started out losing their first 3 games, but then they got a big victory against Central State and also Arkansas Pine Bluff the following week. They're giving up 30 points a game. They've given up 75 points alone in the 2nd quarter. So being down 13-7
is pretty good. It's promising from here. That's what you're saying. You can get there from here. I agree, Fran. That's a great observation because this football team looked like the way this game started, they were going to be in dire need of points.
Atkins over the middle. He had Nate Baxter.
He had a couple of guys open there. But I'm telling you, that ankle is not 100% because he can't stand in there like we watched him throw at practice yesterday. He can't stand in there and deliver the football. And it's his left ankle. It's this ankle right here. And he's left-handed. So all that said, it's going to be a tough day throwing the ball. It's going to be a tough day. Their offense now is getting ready to change because of that injury that he had celebrating after a touchdown with his running back.
3rd and 11 here for the Bulldogs. Green back deep. There are 3 wideouts in the formation. Devon with a great spin move. Atkins dumped it off to Green, but Sanders was waiting and baiting.
Even I knew that was a screen. So the one thing about Tuskegee's defense is they play down in distance. They play personnel as well as anybody. Coach Ruffin has them keyed into what's going on the field. Even I knew that was a screen. It was going to be a screen or a draw because the quarterback's injured. We're going to talk about it for the rest of the game. We knew it was going to be a screen or a draw.
So Rashawn Kyler on to punt. Mitchell is deep for the Bulldogs. Kyler has been active. This is his 4th punt of the day.
Let's go!
It's a fair catch by Mitchell after a 32-yard punt.
Well, we started the day talking about Jakari Atkinson, the quarterback for the Golden Tigers, and man, has he delivered.
Sometimes, athletes are as advertised, and Jakari Atkins has been as advertised. Running with the football, does a very nice job throwing the football, seeing the entire field, and I like the fact that he likes to go back and throw first, run really, really late second. So right there, a beautiful scramble, and then this throw right here. Didn't get the complete drop back because his receiver came open, got the ball out of his hands. 13-7 Tuskegee over Alabama A&M.
And Tuskegee pushing Atkinson for the Harlan Hill Award, which goes to the best player of Division II. And a year ago, this guy was off the hook, leading Tuskegee to a 12-0 mark. He threw for almost 3,000 yards, Sterling, 34 touchdown passes. And oh, by the way, those were school records.
Yep.
He also led the team in rushing as well with, and they scored 562 points.
Yeah, that's a record anywhere you play. And yet, but he's an outstanding talent. I mean, he really is, maybe America's best kept secret.
2nd and 10 now, and this is Forney on the option. And he crosses the 40 to the 41. It's a gain of 4. Antonio Barrett there on the tackle.
And, you know, when you talk about as advertised, the one thing coaches don't want is they don't want to have to come in and worry about every position. And when you know that the quarterback position, he's not going to make many mistakes. He's not going to make mental errors at all. He's going to get you out of bad plays. You don't have to worry about that. Now you try and steal a big play here or there, and that's what this offense has been able to do.
Trips right for Tuskegee. English is there, but it's overthrown by Atkinson.
Usually when and watching him throw at practice the other day, Fran, when he misses because he tries to overthrow or guide the football. One of those two. And I think this right here is just a guide. You know, it just comes out a little hot, and they worked on that yesterday. They were going to keep it high. They were going to keep it high, and that's what the quarterback coach right there is telling them. We talked about this yesterday. We were going to keep it high, and what you get is he knew and brought him in on that throw. And so it's one of those things that, you know, you work on, you harp on, but the quarterback's going to throw it the way he sees it, and that's how he saw it.
Nobody deep for the Bulldogs. Frank Moore was cheating up because he thought maybe a fake was on the way. And it was Jaquez Prize there to down it at the 5. So that's where Anthony Jones and the Bulldogs will start business. Tuskegee up 6 in the Circle City Classic.
Count down the NFL's top 10s. Debate the game's best moments. And break down everything in the world of football. The NFL's top 10 comebacks. Tonight at 9, only on NFL Network.